Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Today, we're diving into the recent bilateral meeting between President Trump and the Prime Minister of India. This is a major moment for international relations, especially when it comes to the strategic partnership between the United States and India. Let's break it down.
Absolutely, A. It was a significant meeting. Both leaders shared a strong sense of optimism about the future of their country's relationship. From President Trump's reaffirmation of his America First policies to the Prime Minister's passionate commitment to India's growth, there's a lot to unpack. What stood out to you the most?
One of the things that really stood out was the shared vision between both leaders. The Prime Minister expressed his gratitude towards President Trump, not just for the successful first term, but also for how that relationship paved the way for deeper collaboration between the U.S. and India. He mentioned how much trust and enthusiasm he had, and it really set the tone for the second term.
Right. And the Prime Minister even said something quite striking. He mentioned how the strategic partnership will move forward with the same speed, referring to the pace of cooperation during Trump's first term. It's clear that both leaders value the momentum they've built. But there was also a sense of nostalgia. The Prime Minister reminisced about the Howdy Modi event in Houston and the Namaste Trump rally in Ahmedabad.
Oh, absolutely. Those events were massive. They symbolized the friendship between the two leaders and their countries. The Prime Minister even mentioned how the echoes of those rallies can still be heard across India. That connection between the people of India and President Trump was powerful. It wasn't just a political relationship, but a personal one too.
Yes, the personal camaraderie really came through in their exchange. It wasn't just about policy, it was about mutual respect. And that's crucial in diplomacy. But I also thought it was interesting when President Trump talked about Make America Great Again and how that vision resonates not only in the U.S., but also in India's push to become a developed nation by 2047. They're both looking at long-term growth.
It's fascinating how both countries see their futures intertwined. President Trump has always emphasized national interest, and the Prime Minister made a point of saying he shares that same focus on India's interests. There's something very powerful in that alignment. Both leaders want to propel their nations forward, each with their own vision for the future.
Absolutely. And the Prime Minister didn't hold back in his praise for President Trump's leadership style. He mentioned how Trump's national focus resonated with him, noting that his third term would be a continuation of this momentum. It was a nod to how strong bilateral relations are and how they intend to keep that pace going.
It was an exciting exchange for sure. And then there's the geopolitical side of things. The Prime Minister spoke directly about India's stance on the Russia-Ukraine conflict. India's position has often been seen as neutral, but he made it clear that India is on the side of peace. This is key because it shows India's independent approach to global issues, even as it strengthens its ties with the U.S.
Exactly. India is making it clear that while they want peace, they are not neutral. They are actively pushing for dialogue. That commitment to peace is an important aspect of India's growing influence on the world stage. And with President Trump's support for that peace initiative, it signals a broader alignment in their global strategies.
Absolutely. And in the bigger picture, their united front, both as leaders of the world's oldest and largest democracies, symbolizes the power of collaboration between nations that believe in democracy and freedom. As President Trump said, when the U.S. and India come together, it's not 1 + 1 = 2, but 1 + 1 = 11, a powerhouse for humanity.
What a statement. That metaphor really hits home. The combined force of two democratic giants is something the world will have to reckon with. It'll be exciting to see how this relationship unfolds in the coming years.
For sure. So, with that, we'll wrap up today's discussion. A lot to think about, right? The continued evolution of U.S.-India relations is something we'll definitely be watching closely. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to talk about these pivotal moments in history. We'll see you next time, folks.